3 of our pilgrimage is to visit St. Pio of Pietrelcina Church and pay homage to the exhumed incorrupt body of St. Pio de Pietrelcina.
Yeah, we're going to see the places of St. Pio. We have old and new parts. Old here with the two churches where he celebrated, the old friary, and the new part is down there to the left where is the body of St. Pio II and the new church and the new tomb.
The sanctuary of St. Pio de Pietrelcina, or colloquially called Padre Pio's Shrine, is a Catholic shrine in San Giovanni Rotondo, province of Foggia, Italy, owned by the Order of Friars Minor Capuchin. San Giovanni Rotondo has been considered as a town filled with history. Its origin can be dated back to the 11th century, and its first inhabitants were the Phrygians who, coming from the mountains, encamped along the route leading to the sanctuary of St. Michael. The attached convent is where St. Padre Pio lived. In July 1916, an Il Padre Pio came to Our Mary of Grace Convent for the first time, warmly welcomed by a few friars and the pupils of the seminary. The days in which Padre Pio stayed in San Giovanni Rotondo brought his body a great relief. Breathed the fresh air of the mountains surrounding the monastery. He kept his resting in the hours when the community went to bed, so he slowly regained his strength. However, every evening Satan would torment him. Padre Pio bore 5 wounds of Jesus for 50 years. Throngs of people were drawn to his confessional. He brought peace of mind, consolation, and serenity to thousands. This new Padre Pio Pilgrimage Church was built in devotion to Padre Pio. It can accommodate 6,500 people seated at worship with standing room for 30,000 people outside. It was built in 1998 to 2004. Built to honor Our Lady of Grace Capuchin Friars, where Padre Pio spent most of his life. These iconic arches greet all visitors to this national center. As guests enter under these arches, they are reminded of the path Padre Pio walked every day. The body of St. Pio was moved to the sanctuary or newer church in 2010 and is placed in enclosed glass. The Genoan architect Renzo Piano designed the Padre Pio Pilgrimage Church. It is located in front of Casa Sollievo della Sofferenza, or the Home for the Relief of Suffering, a large Italian hospital and research center founded by Padre Pio. Saint Francis visited the shrine to say Mass at this pilgrimage church on March 2018.
Padre Pio was born in Pietrelcina. He was the fourth of 7 children. His family had a small farm. His parents had
Number four of 7. 4 of the 7.
So he had a dream since when he was a child to become a Capuchin Friar, a friar with the bird, like St. Francis of Assisi. And he was found in a church at the age of 5, saying to the crucifix, "I want to be yours." So he made this promise to God since when he was a child. In 1903 he entered the convent. In 1910 he was ordered priest. But he had problems with his lungs. He suffered for a kind of asthma, and he had often the permission to stay at home with his parents who could take care of him. Even after his ordination, when he was a priest, he had this permission too. But in 1916 he was called to the convent of Foggia for his family. He had to stay there, but Foggia is one of the hottest towns in Italy. He suffered a lot, and somebody suggested him to come here to go to San Giovanni Rotondo, where there was already the old church and the old friary. He came, stayed for a week and felt better and asked to remain here. So he had the permission 2 years later. In 1918, Padre Pio moved to San Giovanni and lived here for 50 years up to his death in 1968. Padre Pio had asked the construction of an hospital here. Because of his luck, many people died, so he asked the construction of an hospital since when he arrived. But he had the permission just in 1947, after the Second World War. And in 1947 he had just the permission, no the money, no the place. A lady, before she died, donated the land here in front of the church to San Pio. Some other people imitated her, so they had at least the place where to build the hospital. Even if they had anything, Padre Pio asked to his friends, "Please, let's do something, let's start this work." They started with the few tools they had. By the time a lady from London, Barbara Ward, journalist and economist, read about this big project and came here in order to know more about it and to meet Padre Pio for a personal reason. She came, found this man working in that way, and she asked, "How could you think to be such a kind of hospital in Giovanni?" They said, "Padre Pio asked us to start because he says with the fact everything is possible." They needed 400 million of lira, the old coin. She came to Padre Pio for a personal problem. That is, her boyfriend was a Protestant, and she wished to marry him in the church. He was the General Jackson of the United States Army. She asked Padre Pio to do, and Padre Pio said, "I am nobody to say this, but if Jesus wants, everything is possible even now." When she came back home, she found her boyfriend converted, baptized at the moment when she was talking about it with Padre Pio, and they decided to help him for the construction of the hospital. They understood it was the miracle due to the intercession of St. Peter. They founded an association, collected 400 million of lira for human projects.
In September 2018, Padre Pio began to display permanent wounds on his hands and feet, known as stigmata, in reference to the Christ wounds. In the next month, his reputation of sainthood grew rapidly in the region of San Giovanni Rotondo, attracting hundreds of believers at the monastery coming each day to see him. Although the cause of his prolonged and debilitating illnesses remained a mystery to his doctors, Padre Pio did not become discouraged. He offered all his bodily sufferings to God as a sacrifice for the conversion of souls. He experienced many spiritual sufferings as well. He had gifts of healing, bilocation, and prophecy. His burial was attended by 100,000 people. People would line up at the church entrance for 2 hours to attend his mass. He died at the age of 81. We celebrated our Holy Mass, officiated by our pilgrim priests, Fathers Algerio and Nilo Panya, at the Church of Our Lady of Grace, which is part of Padre Pio Sanctuary.